Born in Daytona Beach. I started using when I was 17, 18. Both of my parents were addicts. My mom was an addict, my dad was an alcoholic. And because of their, addiction, I was adopted. And so I was adopted by outside people. We didn't know them. And basically my life with them was traumatic. I went through abuse. So that is what stemmed my using of drugs. I finally left about a week before I turned 18, and I was always a good student. I did great in school. So I left, but I didn't know what to do with all of the emotions, and I was trying to complete high school because I hadn't graduated yet. And so I stayed in the area. I was living with friends, and I'll be honest, the partying, the drinking, I wanted to stay near that, and someone offered me a pill to snort, a Roxy, and I snorted it and felt like all of that stuff just melted away, and I felt better than I had felt in a long time, and immediately I was hooked. And that's when my addiction really took off and spiraled, and it just progressed from there. So there was attempts of me trying to quit on my own. There was attempts of, me coming into the program of Narcotics Anonymous and trying to quit that way, but just never being able to stick and stay. And then, I would get caught up or go into a program, get clean for a little bit, and then relapse again. After I had my son, that is when things really got real for me, because I had always wanted a child. I did, and I was doing really good when I got pregnant. I had graduated drug court. I got married to the love of my life. He was doing good. He's also an addict. And so, we got a place together. And about 7 months into my pregnancy, I relapsed. It's that lie that we tell ourselves it's just gonna be one time, and then, it's not. And you're like telling yourself you have to stop, you have to do less, you have to do something. And I did. I tried all the things, but that just never works. That was probably one of the lowest points in the start of that just difference in my addiction. So me and my husband, we tried to do right. He was clean when I relapsed, and he didn't know. Nobody did. And then, we just eventually both fell again at some point, and that's when it just really was so miserable. My mom took my son, and we went through a lot of downs, and I got endocarditis. At that point, I couldn't lift one of my arms, and I could barely walk on one of my legs because the infection had spread. It was like in my shoulder and my hip. I think I asked the doctor, when can I leave? And he was like, ma'am, if you would have come 6 hours later, you would have been dead. You are not leaving. So I ended up being hospitalized and got better, came back home. My husband was still using. And I knew that if I stayed there with him, I would relapse. So my mom got clean. I called my mom and I told her that I wanted to stay clean and I needed to be somewhere that I could do that. She asked me to come here to DeLand to help me, and I did that at the age of 21 after getting into some trouble. And that's when I was really introduced to the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous. And she worked a program and she wanted me to do that so that I could get help like her. So we're doing fabulous. We just bought our first home last year. I work here at Foundations to Freedom. So Katie and I actually met in the rooms, and we had been friends. We had been through addiction together at some points, and I saw what she was building, and I was very excited and blown away by it. And she had offered me, a job at one point. And so when I needed something else, I thought of her and I reached out. I started in transportation and then worked my way up, and now I'm a case manager. And so I have a caseload of right now 7 women. So I make sure that every week we have one-on-ones, but every day I try to go by every house that I have clients at, check in with my clients, see how they're doing, see if they need anything. We do outreach, we do their graduations, prepping them for that. A lot of support on just whatever they need. So like if they need to get their license, if they need to get a social security card, some of them have court dates because they still have court things going on. So I'll show up to court for them and be that support and speak up if I need to about what our program does and how we can help them. I want to be that person that I needed at times, supporting them along the way to have everything they want, because they can. It is so possible, and I just want to remind them of that and let them know that they can do it, and I want to, support them in any way that I can. So yeah, we're doing wonderful. Like, it's the life I always wanted. It's everything I always wanted. And so yeah, I'm really grateful for my life today and where we're at.